Okay, so what I've done this time, welcome back, course, is I've kind of, the last episode there were some good ideas, but I thought I've sort of done something a bit different here. You can see there's, I've lit up this area up a bit. I've changed and removed some of the stuff. So we've got this arch going that way. So yeah, that's like, yeah. So basically, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting though. And if you look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. So it's a smaller thing, but yeah. So similar sort of thing on both levels. And what I could do actually is I could do stone stairs in here. So I could do something like that. I'd have to get rid of these two. Do something like that. Let's see if this will work. This will work. So we're going to have to break some of this bridge. Now, for this, I actually wouldn't mind retaining some of it. So let's just... so we're going to have to get rid of some of the flooring here to get up to this higher level. Yeah. And do I want it like that? Could possibly reduce this one. Yeah. Or I could just get rid of the whole thing altogether. I mean that, yeah, maybe I'll just get rid of the whole thing. So yeah, I mean it's one of those structures. It looks good when you go in. And it's very easy just to peel off the side, which is cool. So let's look at some items now. So you know what? I mean, obviously, what I've spoken about in the previous episodes, I've spoken about the recipes available for the Philosopher's Stone. But what I really want to do actually is not so much Philosopher's Stone, because as you can tell, there's not that much for it. It's only 12. So we've got Eternus Fluid, which is 8,192. It makes 4 Mobius fuel, and so those two are part of the same process. And often, and this is actually how a lot of equipment exchange works. They're all part of the same thing, like how the wall changes and stuff. So this is a similar one. Mobius fuel is 4 alchemical coil. 4 alchemical coil is 4 Mobius fuel, and the EMC value is divides by 4 or multiplies by 4. And I'll certainly be looking at the various EMC values and think of both high and low level ways to increase EMC. There are of course many infinite ways to increase the EMC, and of course I'll get onto that at some point as well. Yeah, I'm going to leave the rain on for a minute actually, because it doesn't really matter that much to me. So you can see 512 gets 4 coal. Similar sort of thing with the coal and the the coal and the alchemical coal. Yeah, and 1 piece of coal is 4 charcoal. 4 charcoal is 1 piece of coal. Charcoal is worth a quarter of the value. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's pretty much it. 4 gold for 1 diamond, 1 diamond, 4 gold. Gold is a quarter of the value of diamond. 8 iron for 1 gold. So iron is 1/8 of the value of gold, and gold is 8 times the value of iron. And those are reciprocal kind of recipes. So now I'm going to head back into. I'm going to get rid of the rain. What biome am I in? Maybe it's a. I'm in an ocean biome here. I'm in an ocean biome. I didn't even think of that. Alright, so let's get the transmutation table out. Let's talk about it. So there's a transmutation table. I'm just going to look at some very simple things here. So, what do I think about the transmutation table? Well, I've got no lock written on it. So, lock is basically to do with fuel and matter. So I'm going to put some coal in, and now all these things have to learn. It's a bit like a prototype research table from Thorncraft. So let's put a piece of coal in there, and it says learned. And now we can see transmutation fuel. So what we can do is we want to convert stuff. So what if we want to convert? What if we can't put glass in there? Coal goes in there now, though. So I'm going to put 1 in there. Now, basically what's happened is that's worth 128. So basically what you can see is that when it learnt it, when I burnt it in the flames, what it did is it burnt all the coal, then it converted it burnt, but there was 1 piece of coal, it learnt it, and then it converted it to EMC. So now, it's added it to this transmutation fuel table. So now, right, if I put another piece, let's put another piece. Now there's 256 EMC in there. Okay. So yeah, put in another piece. We've got 384. So what if I wanted to take out some coal? I had to take it out like this. 1, 2, 3, and you can see it's changed back to no lock. So yeah, now obviously I haven't actually mentioned the other types of fuel. Is there what do we have in here? So let's say charcoal. We were speaking about that earlier. Okay, so there's no lock on it in the moment, so I could do pretty much whatever I want. So I'm going to, so if I put charcoal here, it learns it as well. So it actually can learn it from both sides. You don't actually have to, but if I take it away, it's not there. Let's put some coal in here. And you can see it's still learning. So you don't actually need to use up whatever it is you learn. So that's useful. But of course, if you want to add to the EMC pot, so if I put this all in here, well, I'm not going to do that actually. If I put in, say, a piece of charcoal in here, that goes up to 160, and I have lost the charcoal. But of course, I can get it back because it's simply a case of withdrawing the EMC. So if I put in a bit more charcoal, so just put in quite a bit of it up to there, and I'm able to just take as much as I want. Just keep on clicking, and I can take as much as I want. And so let's see what happens when I try to put glass in here. No, can't burn it either, and that's because this table is locked. Is locked to fuel. And I believe there's certain ways to do it, but I'm certainly aware that if you take out everything, you go down to 0, the lock gets taken away. And there certainly are ways to lock and unlock it. So what else can I talk about? Well, there's fuel there, and there's different types of fuel, like Mobius fuel, that sort of stuff. But that's fuel. So let's say we want to learn what this is. And now we can see that the transmutation has changed to matter. So there we have glass there. So I can't just I can't just exchange, unless it's unlocked, I can't just exchange. And what you will find is as you learn more and more stuff, so I'll learn that. Okay. And you'll find that depending on the EMC value is what items appear here on the right hand side. But yeah, but when you have a Klein star, this will actually aggregate the EMC for you. So you can see it's got 9 there. I'll put some stairs in there as well. And there we go, we've got some stairs. So that's put in a lot more. So now I could take stacks and stacks of this. See, I could literally take stacks of glass out for all the wood. So that's, you know, I can put in a project table maybe. No. So the red power items are not so keen to work. It's like coal dust. Nope. But if I want to unlock it, then I'm going to have more of a problem. So let's try and unlock it. Let's see what happens here. Unfortunately, because I've learnt something which is 1. Oh, I didn't do it properly, I don't think. There we go. Yeah, you have to get to 0 to unlock it. You put a block of iron in there, and that's matter. You can see the EMC value is far higher. So once this thing gets full up with all the different items, it's not going to work properly. Well, no, sorry, no, it will work. It will work better actually, because you're only able to see items which are the same EMC value. And this issue of EMC value is the next thing I want to talk about. And what I'm going to do is I'm thinking of ways to do this. But you can see that a lot of items have got 8, a lot of items have got 32, a lot of items have got 1, a lot of items have got 4. A lot of items, for instance, like this dispenser, it's very likely it's going to be the concatenation of the value of the items it's constructed out of. So, for instance, I mean, that's 7,776. If I can find lapis, which I might not be able to, but I can research it. I wonder if I can do that thing at. No, I don't think it works in this version. What do you have to do? At mod. Is something like that? No, maybe that doesn't work. But if I do lapis anyway, you'll see that that's 864 and that the block is 7776. So 864 times 9, well, it certainly ends in 6. And 800 times 9 is 7,200. So it's probably a good bet. It's pretty much it's right on. I could even do it. 9 into that is 70. So 72 is 8 times remainder 5. So 8 remainder 5. 9 is 57 is 6. 6 remainder 3. 9 to 36 is 4. Yeah, okay. So that works. But like I was saying, there's various different items that have got all different EMC values. And of course, I'm going to have to look at red power. This is red power 1 though. This is not red power 2 that I've been covering. So I'm going to have to do, and you can look at the EMC of Dragon Egg, it's huge. So red power 1 was very different. In a way, it was a lot simpler, red power 1. So I'll certainly be looking at the different furnaces and stuff. So yeah, let's walk through the items. The covers. The Y was still the same. There was still mag tubes. Funnily enough, I did do that tube stuff episode. I wonder if it would actually work better, because it didn't really work properly. There's a fluid pipe, which I believe is not there anymore. Redstone restriction tube. So the items, in a way, were a lot better to work with. Now these items, I don't know about these items. Things like the pillars, though, are quite interesting. Like a pillar, for instance, would probably look quite good here. So you can get you can get more interesting stuff here. So yeah, I mean, to have a pillar like that actually looks pretty good, and it would certainly, you know. So I'm going to have to think about these sort of things. And of course I've spoken about that. Whether I'll do some red power computer stuff, I don't know. Maybe though. And I definitely want to get into the gates this time. Obviously, at the moment, in terms of my main series on the 27th, 28th, I've basically done NOR, OR, NAND, and XNOR, XOR. Did I do XNOR and XOR? No, maybe I haven't actually. I think I'm on either XOR or XNOR at the moment. I think I'm probably on XOR at the moment. Toggle not of course is inverter. And that's a repeater, a randomizer, transparent and alert sensor. So these are a bit more complex, these things. Bus transceiver. Oh, bus transceiver. I wonder if that was in the new one, I'm not sure. But I've actually used quite a lot of them. That was the original sorting machine, the battery box, frame motor. So even back in the early days, the frame motor was there with the frame business, which is something I'd like to do. Thermopile. I haven't actually done that. It's a very low way of generating electricity. So I think in a sense I'd probably like to actually start with more simple, you know, rather than just, you know, getting the MFSU out straight away. I wonder what the interface for the assembler looks like now. Looks the same. This is an item which I think I actually got it out very early on in Red Power. Yeah, but I really want to get that working. These are the Red Power ores. Tungsten ore, is that in here? Sure, it rains a lot in the fucking ocean. Yeah, so I used a lot of these. And of course, what I may have to do is actually create some of these natural occurrences. And this, of course, I decided to... I mean, I did kind of think, oh, you know, shall I transfer it over to, like, a main world? But these are furnaces, which I don't have anymore, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know really. I really don't know about that. Forestry, early forestry, the early, and this is early bees. So this bee stuff is, yeah, we'll have to see how I get along with the bee stuff. But yeah, this is all the stuff. This is like really the beginnings of so much stuff. Arboretum I've done in forestry, of course. These ones I did. I put it in advanced machines. That was how I saw it. I did Tesla coil with industrial craft. The crop stuff I haven't. The industrial craft crop stuff I haven't really done. I have done the nuclear control episode where I featured some of these things. I'm not going to use the really powerful stuff. These were actually taken out, and I think they were taken out anyway. And I've used much of this, and I've spoken about these things quite a lot. Perhaps not the electrolyzer. Then we have this. Yep. This is for the red power lamps. Still villagers around. Wafers are for the alloy furnaces. These are in construction of the gates. The various, these hand tools are to make the various, they're not micro blocks, but I can't remember the actual name, but they're that's a good enough term. Paint brushes to paint the pipes, yeah, which is very useful actually. And considering I've got a much more limited tool set, it will be very useful to do that. This is a pipe which got changed and doesn't exist anymore. So I'll have a look at that. Blueprints, with terms of the quite regular things I've built, it may be useful to try and do a blueprint. But really, the thing about blueprints is you have to be very aware of what materials and what order the material is going to be. Because if you want to build a house, you can't just shove them all in. Like, you have to actually know exactly how it's going to be built before you can put the materials in, because otherwise. And I have tried to do that a million times. See, I think it starts from the very bottom left, but I really need to know that in very precise detail, and then might be able to rapidly grow the amount of buildings. Logistics pipes, I've actually started that. These are the very. Funny, I think I only did use basic logistic pipe. It's much more advanced nowadays, but I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm happy that it's got that. It's obviously got the wireless redstone as well. And there was some different forestry mechanics in here. Than they currently have. So we look at actually the bees. There is a beealyzer. Whether I'm not sure there's actually a more comprehensive cheat item, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Apiarist clothing, armor, and different combs. Habitat locator may not be that useful. I'll see. Infuser, I'm not sure about infuser actually. I'll look that up though. It sounds interesting. Done some portal. I haven't done much on portal gun, but looks like there's quite a few items. I did do a forestry item where I actually created bog earth for some reason. I wouldn't mind looking at the functionality of that. This was the version of iron chest that I did. Destruction catalyst, of course, very powerful. How I'm going to show that though, and then we're on to the items that are here in equivalent exchange. The Klein star has got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that's not 5, but that is the 5th one. And gradually, I've spoken about. And I'm not going to talk about these items at the moment. I've spoken about the divining rod in earlier episodes. And that. Oh, actually, that's the best one. The 6th one, the Amiga. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about much of the stuff yet. This is a classic weapon, nano saber, and I may even get the quantum suit there. And yeah, and I've spoken about much of the rest of this stuff before. So anyway, yeah. So I think for now, what I'm going to do is just carry on looking at equivalent exchange. I think it's getting to the point now where I want to start moving into real kind of construction of systems and machines and stuff. But I'm also aware that once I do that, I'm probably going to be quite focused on that. So yeah, there's still some stuff I still haven't finished up. I mean, I'm happy with the buildings I've got. Like this building. Nice open plan building, nice layout. This building's got there's a lot of space inside. I'm gonna go on the roof and stuff. This building has its own. All the different buildings got their own identity, which I like quite a lot actually. And especially when I number them all and put the glass front on it, it's going to look really cool. But what I have to remember is that I always said this path is going to be 91 blocks long. You can see I'm actually on the beach here, so that's actually a biome change. Yeah. And I do actually have to think about the overall. Let's just do this one. Let's try and get a bit of it. So I mean, in terms of overall structure, these buildings to the side don't actually they don't stretch out any more than I want them to. They're all at the same level. They're very in good shape. And certainly what I want to make sure is that this edge here and the edge there, and on the opposite side, once we get to 91, which is 91 is basically where this path ends. I did this glowstone thing here to 91, even though it's way down. But once I get to there, I want to basically have a few more buildings here up to 91, and keeping in mind this is like 21, so this is like 21. So we got 7. In fact, I could work out how long it is right here. 7 plus the 14 is 21. 28 plus another 14 is 42. So 45. So literally, I'm about halfway along. So I want to double this. So I'll probably end up with perhaps 4 or 5 buildings on each side. And once I got 4 or 5 buildings on each side, then I think, well, I mean that is still quite a lot. I could just do some massive buildings along. But the point is, right, is where this actually is. Because I made sure, right, and I don't think I've actually done this in this series yet. I made sure that this block, which is right underneath there, there's a diamond block. That block is basically it doesn't really matter what I cover at this stage. And I'm not sure. I think I'm probably just going to keep the same layout. But that block is basically the very middle is at 0, 0. So that block is the block which all other blocks will be oriented about, in a sense. So in a sense, this is like the middle, and and I was thinking, have like this sort of tower or something, and it's going to be like a big tower, which is going to sort of go, and that's going to be like the middle of everything. So there's going to be like a way, yeah, but it's going to be the middle of everything, and not only in sort of 2 dimensions, but also in completely in 3 dimensions. So, but basically the point is this has to be a big tower with this spot, and this spot has to be the middle of the tower in every way. So it's going to go off the edge here, but for saying that, I do feel I want to complete up to 91 here. I'm actually in the jungle here, so as you can see, yeah, I'm in the jungle here, and that is good because the jungle is very hot. Beach, ocean, beach. And obviously it doesn't really matter where I move down. So jungle goes on forever this way. Let's have a look how we're doing this way. Because in a sense it's possible that I could actually incorporate the bee stuff. Maybe not. I think a lot of this is jungle. Now there was a river. And in a sense, obviously at this point, like Z is pretty much 0 or whatever, but I'm obviously just looking at the X coordinate when I'm going here. And as long as it's under 91, which in this case it is, you know, it might be all right. Because I do seem to be getting quite a lot of the... Can I get any more? And there's more river here. So I don't actually even need to do that. I could just... And this is actually the way I want to go. Because what I'd like to do... You know, I really wanted just to make things as simple as possible and go through everything one step at a time to avoid just trying to jump straight into this huge three-dimensional structure. So what I think I'm going to do is, yeah, and luckily because I left some space here, I'm still going to be able to, in fact, yeah, because it may actually be that the glowstone is actually going to come out there, and then that's going to be the, yeah. So some of this glowstone may be removed, but basically the path is going to be going this way. So this is going to be like the access. This is going to be. So this is going to be the Z going that way, right? And this is going to be the X going, and they're both going to be positive. So I want to try and keep, and it's good. I've got beach, I've got river, I've got jungle, I've got ocean. So yeah, I haven't got a snow biome though. I haven't got a snow biome. That is true, unfortunately. And I wonder if there is a snow biome somewhere, because getting a snow biome is kind of important for the bees. But saying that, there may be different. There may be other ways to get around that. But a snow biome would certainly be good. But whether I can find one, I'm not sure. You know, is there any point where there's a snow biome, I wonder? It doesn't really seem like there is. But I wonder if oceans are cool. Oceans might be cool. I mean, you would think the ocean or river would be possibly the coolest out of... I don't know. Whether not having a snow biome is going to be a problem, I'm not sure. I mean, for instance, to get a wintry bee... I mean, how would I get a wintry bee? That is the thing. Because there's no alvearies. But then again, right, this was made in a time when you did have the terraformer. So what, I mean, and that's the thing, does the terraform actually change the biome? I don't think it actually changes the biome, but depending on, it's one of those things where it depends on how we're going to, like, on how the bees work in this version. I'm going to have to look at the, you know, all the old stuff. But anyway, I've probably gone on about this for a bit too long, so I'm going to leave it for now. So thanks for watching. Rain time.